The story of the merchant and the genius. Welcome to the wonderful world of the fables fiction fantasy. There was once upon a time a merchant who possessed great wealth in land and merchandise as well as in money. He was obliged from time to time to take journeys to arrange his affairs. One day, he mounted his horse, taking with him a small wallet in which he had put a few biscuits and dates because he had to pass through the forest where there was no food. He arrived without any mishap, finished his business and set out to return. On his fourth day of journey, the heat of the sun being very great, he tried to rest under the trees. He found a fountain of clear running water. He dismounted, fastened his horse to the branch of a tree. He took from his wallet some of his dates and biscuits. When he finished his frugal meal, he washed his face and hands in the mountain. After some time he saw an enormous genius, white with rage, coming towards him. "Arise," he cried in a terrible voice, "and let me kill you as you have killed my son." As he uttered those words he gave a frightful yell. The merchant, quite as much terrified his hideous words, answered him tremblingly, "Good sir, what can I have done to you to deserve death?" "I shall kill you," repeated the genius, "as you have killed my son." "But," said the merchant, "how can I have killed your son? I do not know him and I have never seen him. When you arrived here, did you not sit down on the ground?" asked the genius. "And did you not take some dates from your wallet, and whilst eating them did you not throw the stones about?" "Yes," said the merchant, "I certainly did so." "Then," said the genius, "I tell you, you have killed my son, for whilst you were throwing about the stones, my son passed by and one of them struck him in the eye and killed him. So I shall kill you." "Sir, forgive me," cried the merchant. "I will have no mercy on you," answered the genius. "But I killed your son quite unintentionally, so I implore you to spare my life." "No," said the genius, "I shall kill as you killed my son." And so saying he seized the merchant by the arm, threw him on the ground and was about to cut off his head. The merchant was protesting about his innocence, bewailing his wife and children and trying pitifully to avert his fate. The genius waited till he had finished but was not at least touched. When the merchant saw that the genius was determined to cut off his head, he said, "One word more, I entreat you. Grant me a little delay, just a short time to go home and bid my wife and children farewell, and to make my will. When I have done this I will come back here and you shall kill me." "But," said the genius, "if I grant you the delay you ask, I am afraid that you will not come back." "I give you my word of honor," answered the merchant, "that I will come back without fail." "How long do you require?" asked the genius. "I ask you for a year's grace," replied the merchant. "I promise you that tomorrow 12th I shall be waiting under these trees to give myself up to you." On this the genius left him near the fountain and disappeared. The merchant, having recovered from his fright, mounted his horse and went on his road. When he arrived home, his wife and children received him with a great joy. But instead of embracing them he began to weep so bitterly that they soon guessed that something terrible was the matter. "Tell us, I pray for you," said the wife, "what has happened?" "Alas," answered her husband, "I have only a year to live." Then he told them what had passed between him and the genius, and how he had given his word to return at the end of the year to be killed. When they heard this sad news they were in despair and wept much. The next day the merchant began to settle his affairs, and first of all to pay his debts. He gave presents to his friends and large alms to the poor. He wrote a will and provided for his wife and children. The year soon passed away, and he was obliged to depart. When he tried to say goodbye, he was quite overcome with grief. At length he reached the place where he had first seen the genius, on the very day that he had appointed. He dismounted and sat down on the edge of the fountain where he awaited in terrible suspense. Whilst he was thus waiting an old man came towards him. They greeted one another and then the old man said to him, "May I ask, brother, what brought you to this place? To see these beautiful trees one would imagine it was inhabited, but it is a dangerous place to stop long in." The merchant told the old man why he was obliged to come there. He listened in astonishment. "This is a most marvelous affair. I should like to be a witness of your interview with the genius." So saying he sat down by the merchant. While they were talking another old man came up followed by 2 dogs. He greeted them and asked what they were doing at this place. The old man told him about the adventure between the merchant and the genius. The moment the second man heard the story, he, too, decided to stay there to see what would happen. Soon after, a third man arrived and asked about the same. He also decided to stay after hearing the story of the merchant. They soon saw in the distance a thick smoke, and it came nearer and nearer, and they saw the genius who, without speaking to the old men around, approached the merchant, furious and taking him by the arm. "Let me kill you as you killed my son." The old men and the merchant began to weep. One of the old man threw himself at the genius' feet and said, "O Prince of the Genii, I beg of you to stay at your fury and to listen to me. I am going to tell you my story and that of the hind that I have with me, and if you find it marvelous than that of the merchant whom you are about to kill, I hope that you will do away with a third part of his punishment." The genius considered for some time, and then he said, "Very well, I agree to this." The story takes a pause here. We'll see you at the next story time. Take care. Do like, share and comment. Please subscribe also.